Dandavats, dear devotees and friends, Govinda, Govinda, Jai Mahaprabhu, Jai Nityananda. I'm a couple of minutes late because one of those strange things, it wouldn't connect via the internet. Normally it does to Zoom, so I had to do it manually. So anyway, here I am, a minute or two late, but we are with you. And all over the world, including Priya Nana, who's now in Siberia. Just see, look at Siberia, snow, fully snow. Waiting for the spring, waiting to till the ground and plant the seeds. And Priya Nana is in the car, very much like Rupanuga Prabhu, who's not with us, it seems, yet at the moment. Rupanuga, always in the car. Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu, always in the car. And Priya Nana, now always in the car because she's out of base and she's in Siberia. Okay, dear devotees, we're already a minute or two late. Oh, that I am, so please excuse. And those devotees who are here on Zoom, on Facebook, and who will meet us soon, then we are all together happily. Let us give obeisances to each other. Bancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And to Shri Guru, Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. And to Shri Gauranga, Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvijay Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, now I have a note about Jivana's homework, but Jivana's not here with us. I hope we didn't frighten her away with the homework. Oh, she volunteered, I seem to remember. She was doing a little homework. Okay, so we'll keep Jivana's homework pending. And in the meantime, first of all, a big welcome to everybody. And here is Rupanuga Prabhu in his car. Dandavat Prabhu, we just mentioned your name and you appeared. So this is, in the West, that's always considered a good sign. I'm not sure about the Bengali indications, but anyway, a good sign for us, you're with us. Hare Krishna. And I see from Australia, Krishna Lalana, David Asi is with us, and means that Gaura Hari Prabhu must be nearby somewhere. And also Mathura Basini David Asi is with us from South Africa, and Madhava Prabhu is with us too. And Madhava means Michael Madhava. And on Zoom, everyone can see who's here on Zoom. Oh, Abhinavasundar Prabhu and Kelly Kadambanana Devidasi also with us. Jai. From there, Bhajan Kutir on the side of a hill with a tree outside with beautiful birds that fly around. Really, it's a sweet place. And to everybody who's with us, Dana Seva Rupadevirasi, Nirupama Udaran Prabhu, Dandabat, and to Leela Moy Prabhu, and also Leela Shakti Devidasi in their separate places in Brazil, where it is night, middle of the night. And of course to Paramananda Prabhu, and to our host Praneshwari Devidasi, who's looking after us all. And did I mention Dana? I hope so. Dana and Chintamani, both of you there in the States, welcome. So today here is Rama Navamī, and a day of fasting for us who've woken up in the morning to remind ourselves. And we don't have to remind ourselves too much in the temple, because the beauty about temple life is they just don't feed us when it's a fasting day. So we find out sooner or later. But for those of you who are not in the temple, then you do have to be a little diligent and think, yes. And why are we fasting? We're fasting for the satisfaction of Ramachandra. We're not fasting because it is a rule and you must suffer. It's not like that. And when we will feel that we need to eat something because our habit is to wake up in the morning, program, and then breakfast. And then when, oh no, there's no breakfast. We need to turn our attention to the Lord and away from our stomach and tongue and mind. Actually, it is the mind, because we well know, those of us who have in the past exerted some energy doing things from a very small amount of, I was going to say food, but prasadam, from a very small amount, you get a lot of energy. And we're very well aware of that. So the amount, and I sometimes say to the devotees, you know, how much opulent prasadam we have compared with, for instance, the porters and the Sherpas in the Himalayas. They have a very simple breakfast, and that keeps them going all day. And I went to one place, it was some years ago in India, and it was in the Himalayas, and we were with devotees. But there we were trekking, and we came at lunchtime, what we're thinking is lunchtime, to a village where there were various restaurants. But, I mean, and restaurant, okay, we're talking about restaurants, means here like wooden basic shack, which would, wooden basic, yes, shack. Oh, shack is a green leafy vegetable, but a shack is also, in English, it is a hut, a wooden hut, in which, you know, they do cook rice, dal, and sabji, which is the standard meal. But it was a lunchtime, and we're thinking, okay, we'll stop here for lunch. And they said, no, the first place we go to, and they said, no rice, dal, sabji. Think, well, strange. Next one, no rice, dal, sabji. And there were maybe not many, maybe 4 of those places. Yes, probably 4 of those places. And none of them served prasadam. I served any food. And then I said, why? They said, no, only morning and evening. It wasn't a tourist place. It was, you know, like one. And I said, only morning and evening. He said, yes. The rest of the day, everybody's going somewhere. So, and I thought, what kind of, I mean, really, quite a tapasya, that those who are carrying the things in the mountains, they're taking morning and evening, and all day they're walking. But anyway, come back to the point. It's Ram Navami, it's a fasting day. Our body can definitely continue happily for quite a long time without having a meal. It's the mind which tells us that, oh, I haven't had a meal, and this, that, and the other. So let our mind go to the real source of nourishment, which is the Supreme Lord in his manifestation today as Ramachandra. So this is a little beginning for us. And here's Varun just joined us with bringing us the touch of Mathura and Vrindavan, driving Varun. Just the touch of the holy places is special for us. So, with the devotees, and also Sevarupa Devidasi in Mexico has joined us with her obeisances to all of the gathering devotees too. So Sevarupa Devi, to you and to your families, and we appreciate your presence joining us. And Dibya Shakti, Didi is joining us too, in 2 places. We've got stereo Dibya Shakti. We have her on Facebook and we have her on Zoom too. So welcome, Dibya Shakti. And when I think of Dibya Shakti, I definitely always thinking of Navadip, because that's where we've known each other, but where we know her in her Seva life is in Navadip. And maybe we can just start by asking Dibya Shakti, or preparing her to answer a question. Anything about Rama Navami that you would like to share with us from your holy Dham days in Navadip Holy Dham days? you can answer immediately, or we can chat and then you can answer in a moment. But I think Divishat is always ready to share something with us. But you'll have to open your microphone, Didi. Click. Microphone. Microphone. Now, which button's the microphone? It's on there somewhere. We can't hear you, Divya. Your mic. Yes, okay, okay.
Now?
Yes.
Dandavats, Maharaj. No, I'm lost for words. Actually, oh, the Ramayana, it's just amazing. So I don't know what to say. I'm just happy to be here with you. And we just got in from Harinam, so that was beautiful. You put me on the spot right away. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, tell us, first of all, then tell us about your Harinam, because that is enlivening. And this is the age where the yajna is Harinam. Just share a little of that first. Where were you and what happened today?
We went to the park today. What's the park called? I forgot.
So Salt Lake City.
Yeah, in Salt Lake City, Lincoln Park. Anyway, we went to the park. It's right across the street and down the block from the temple. And I got to drive Nyasi Maharaj there. Me and him went together, and it was Braja Mohini was here. She's visiting for a few days. And Purushottam Prabhu, and gosh, so many. Indulekha Didi and myself. I have the pictures. I took a few pictures.
And Sri Lanka?
No, Sri Lanka wasn't there. It was this Nyasi Maharaj. Oh, and Krishnananda was there, and Dayal Nitai was there, and Vrindarani was there, and Madhavi was there. Madhavi is a young girl, is Vrindarani's daughter. So it was a small group, but we had a really beautiful, strong kirtan, long kirtan. Many people joined, and we gave out cards and like that to invite them to the temple, which is just 5 minutes down the block. Beautiful park with beautiful lakes and many birds and bridges walking over the lake, and it's very nice. It's a beautiful park, and yeah, it was very enlivening and very beautiful. So that was wonderful. And I still don't know what to say about Ram Navamī, but the pastimes are so intense and so heavy. I have this this video I used to have. It was called Lav and Kush, and I would always cry when I would watch that video. But Ram pastimes are very intense and very beautiful and very heart-wrenching. And I'm just really honored to be in your presence tonight. And please forgive my offenses for not tuning in more often, but I've been watching some of your back-to-back the basics classes with all of you. So I feel very honored for that. So anyway, I was thinking about Gurudev because his disappearance is coming up, and I saw one video of Gurudev chanting the 12 prayers of Lord Nityananda. And I have this old book, this one, The Treasure Chest of Divine Kirtan. So I was trying to start to go through those 12 prayers. And then the 12 prayers are also in this one of the glories of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. But the translations are a little different, so I was going to read them both. So that was a nice meditation that I'm starting to try to go through. But anyway, that's what I can share tonight. might be able to share something else, but thank you, Dhanavad Maharaj.
And actually, I believe Dibya Shakti is one of the original members of the Back to Basics in Navadip. In the hallway on the first floor in American, second floor upstairs in the Seva ashram. This is where Back to Basics took birth. Not in front of the deities, in fact, but so we can be a little informal as we are, you may have noticed. And we'll be on that veranda and the devotees would come together. And Anandamoyi Devidasi from Brazil, she was very much a part of that. Ramachandra Prabhu and others. This is where Back to Basics began as an experiment and as a request. It was really so that we can do some homework, give ourselves some homework to do each week. Now, I have to say, we're not very good about giving ourselves homework here, or maybe we're quite good at giving homework sometimes, but we're not very good at doing the homework. We see that when we ask afterwards. So I'm a bit shy to say, okay, so let us know what are the 6 senses to control, what are the 6 unfavorable, what are the 6 favorable. I mean, we've been trying to do this homework for years, but I don't think I'll be a good teacher because my students don't seem to be so keen to remember everything perfectly. As an example, I can ask, okay, I'm not going to put any of you on the spot. Don't worry, Abhinava Sundar Prabhu. I thought I'd just ask you a simple question. Okay, Abhinava Sundar Prabhu, what is Krishna consciousness?
Isn't that a famous question that someone asked Guru Maharaj once?
Well, Prabhupada, I think.
No, that was one of the answers. Someone said, "Oh, when they all the ISKCON leaders came to Guru Maharaj after Prabhupada had left." And was it a question of theirs? I don't remember. Someone said, "What is Guru Maharaj?" Maybe asked them, "What is Krishna consciousness?" And they were saying, "What Prabhupada taught us." And then what was the answer? I'm trying to remember the answer myself. Guru Maharaj, what did he say? What is Krishna consciousness? Something you have to find. You must get acquainted with it. You know, Krishna consciousness is the absolute reality or something. Or anyway, Maharaj, you'll remember. I don't even remember what I'm trying to say. That's how puppy brain I am.
Hare Krishna. What is the expression? Paramananda's got the good memory for getting things actually right. Paramananda?
Supposedly, Maharaj, he says that Krishna consciousness is the reality, and it is in your interest to get acquainted with it.
Yeah, there we go.
Jai. And we read, oh yes, please continue.
No, I say I'm going to poorly quote Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Paramananda, for actually saying the quote that I was trying to think.
Hare Krishna.
So nice to see Abhi.
I have a quote here from Srila Gurudev about Krishna consciousness. That is, Krishna is not alone. He is Sashakti Shaktiman. Krishna is with his power. When Krishna and his power, capital P, come to play, his form is Radha Krishna. It is not that this is happening just for some time, but it is eternal. It is not that yesterday this happened, but the previous day Krishna was alone. Oh, it's not that yesterday this happened, but the previous day Krishna was alone. No, everything is eternal and transcendental. So everything is living within consciousness. And that consciousness is Krishna consciousness. And Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the first thing we are to consider. Hare Krishna. Anyway, there's something. But we do both in Srila Prabhupada's, well, Srila Prabhupada's books, here's Gurudev's books and Srila Guru Maharaj's books. We do come across, you know, that one-liner expressions about this is Krishna consciousness. But yes, being conscious of Krishna. Anyway, I thought I'd ask you a simple question to get us going, not the 6 senses to control or 6 of anything, just one thing. What is Krishna consciousness? You see, this is why we don't, Paramananda shaking his head. This is why we don't do our back to basics in front of the deities, so that we have some freedom without Krishna seeing us. Oh dear, Krishna sees us everywhere.
Maharaj, it would have been actually a great service for the deities and for the Lord. He can be very entertained if he sees us during the back-to-back basic class.
What would his expression be? They're talking about me like this? Oh my goodness. Poor Krishna, we want to save him from seeing our condition. Hare Krishna. Yes. So, by the way, thank you very much for reminding me about what day it is, because today is Sunday, and I was thinking, or here it's Sunday, I was thinking we're going to have one more back to basics class before Srila Gurudev's disappearance. But we're not, because the next class, oh, well, it'll be his day in America, right? So it will be his disappearance day in America. It is true.
Yes. Yeah.
But yes, so our Krishna consciousness includes, our Krishna consciousness is very fine, but it is also very broad. And so Ramachandra's pastimes, which is Krishna taking the form of Ramachandra, the ideal king, this is all part of our Krishna consciousness, because he is the Lord, and Ramachandra is the manifestation of the Lord for a particular purpose, and to teach us about devotional service and the personality of Godhead. So this is today, and so Ramachandra, his life is that of the ideal king and the ideal son, the ideal husband, the ideal example, and the ideal recipient of worship as the Lord from his servitors, and his servitors in the sense of Dasyaras, headed by Hanuman, and also the servitor in conjugal love, but the conjugal love by law and regulation, and this means the mood of Sita Devi. So both Sita Devi's loyalty to her husband and the husband's loyalty to the wife as the ideal resident of planet Earth. All these examples, and so many examples shown within the Leela of Ramachandra. So Ramachandra's pastimes, we hear from Guru Maharaj, who's the very embodiment of giving us the ontology, the word I had to look up in the dictionary, or in fact ask somebody after hearing it a few times and thinking I know the meaning. I thought, well, I should ask and find, what is this word ontology? And Guru Maharaj is, you can say, the master of ontology. He's showing us it's not all one. In one sense, it is all one. Everything is coming from the Lord, but there is gradation of God realization. And there is indeed the chapter in the search for Sri Krishna, Reality the Beautiful, called Levels of God Realization. And this includes also the description of Hanuman's service to Ramachandra. That is listed within this chapter. And this is a summary of Brihat Bhagavatamritam. It's a summary of explaining how the gradation of understanding the Lord comes from understanding that there is a great power that's creating everything, but there is a great power, but power comes from the powerful, and then we have the Narayan conception and different conceptions within the levels of realization, understanding, service within the Narayan conception. But then above Narayan, there is the personal conception with Ramachandra's pastimes. And then above Ramachandra's pastimes, then is coming to the Krishna pastimes, and Krishna pastimes in Dwarka, in Mathura, in Vrindavan, everywhere gradation. And Ramachandra, he's coming to show us so many examples, but coming, as is given in the scripture, that whenever there's a decline in religious principles, I myself come, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, to set things right, or he sends his agent to set things right. So over the course of millions of years, then we have the various appearances of the Lord taking place. It's not exactly one after the other, back to back, but this way gives the world consciousness or the universe consciousness opportunity to develop from animal to the topmost divinity. So anyhow, this is, I mean, in an absolute nutshell, this is Ramachandra, and Ramachandra is like perfect dharmic, like dutiful example, without any internal resistance to following what is duty. And I see lots of chats in the chat box from first of all, Dana is, she's saying, so happy to be here, thank you. Yes, thank you to all the devotees. By being here, we can engage in Sankirtan, congregational discussions, chanting about the Lord. And as Praneshri, on behalf of us all, saying, and we are happy to have you with us, Jai. And then Dandavat from, I don't know who, a star? Okay, Dandavat
from Dana, from Dana.
Oh, it's from, the star is from Dana. Oh, okay. So Dandavat.
No, that was Chintamani, I'm sorry, Chintamani.
Okay, okay. Dandavat, okay, Chintamani. She's still with us? Yes, she's staying stationary as we speak. We are presently today on Back to Basics 209, not counting the Back to Basics in India, in Navadip. And we did do one or two in Calcutta. Yes, we did in Calcutta, but Calcutta is not so focused in the sense of Calcutta's the city and kind of lots of things always going on in Calcutta. But Navadip was a little steady in the program. Calcutta, and we're in Calcutta, a little less focused. Okay, we've got a quote here, so let's stay on the theme. Well, this is Krishna consciousness. Okay, so who would like to volunteer to read this is Srila Guru Maharaj's words here in the chat box. Who would like to read? No volunteers.
I can volunteer for that service. Sorry, I had to unmute.
Okay, Chintamani Devirasi, we like to hear an enthusiastic voice, but one condition, you have to understand everything you're saying as you read it. And if you don't, then just pause and like read the sentence again, but so we will understand from you understanding. Okay?
Maharaj, I'm not sure if I'm a good fit for this service because, like, how can I ever understand this really high topics?
Okay. After all the humility, tolerance, giving honor to others, and not wanting honor for yourself, could you read the excerpt, please?
I heard you can fake humility, but you can't fake tolerance. So you'll know my humility is pretty fake once you get to know me.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shooter Dev Goswami Maharaj. The search for Sri Krishna. Is this the right thing I'm reading?
Yes,
yes,
please.
Okay. This is my form of Harinam Sankirtan because I'm doing a job right now. I'm walking some dogs. And now I get to read Srila Guru Maharaj's books for the devotees. And whoever gets to hear, maybe somebody will hear. The search for Sri Krishna. The Krishna conception. What is the proposal of Krishna consciousness? And what is the proposal of so many other conceptions? They're all giving us their assurances from time to time. Oh, sorry, they're all giving us their assurances from time immemorial, saying, I shall give you this, I shall give you that. But the Krishna conception will enter and say, my claim is this. The whole thing is mine, and you are all trespassers. I'm going to pause there.
Okay, we're digesting. But your microphone is off. I'm not sure whether you're still paused.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. You're all trespassers. The fight will begin. The unwanted things are sure to withdraw, and Krishna consciousness will capture the whole heart. This is the process. Krishna consciousness has only to land within our hearts. Somehow or other, from a pure devotee, a bit of real Krishna consciousness should enter through our ears into our hearts, and Krishna will supply whatever is required. Krishna will supply whatever is required. One who has imbibed even a slight regard for Krishna consciousness is assured of success in spiritual life today or tomorrow.
Jai, so hopeful, so hopeful. Jai, okay, and I'm just seeing, and so there are two more things in the chat box, but they're both links for Rama Navamī classes of the past. And so throughout the day, throughout the next, whenever the day begins and ends, because for some it hasn't begun yet, but anyhow, throughout the days and evenings, etc., that are coming up, please do try to listen to these. And one beauty about the listening is we can listen with headphones while walking a dog and doing other things too. So, we can utilize things nicely. And by the way, I can also put a link that we heard Dibya Shakti mentioning about the Nityananda Dvadashakam, and she'd just been hearing that. And I can put a link because this is also shared to us here in Vila Govinda. Somebody shared it, and we have a Vila Govinda little page thing. So I'll put the link to Srila Gurudev chanting the Nityananda Dvadashakam. If I can, how do I copy the link? Copy the link, okay. So this is actually, it's also the video, so it's got the word by word running. And I think this is what Dibya Shakti was referring to just now. There. Okay. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Oh, very welcome.
Excuse me for a second. I'm asking our dear guest Zoom user to identify herself or himself, please.
But just now connected to the audio, so they wouldn't have heard you, did they? So now you need to ask again.
Our dear Zoom user, you're very welcome, but I need to know your spiritual name. Can you please identify yourself?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Haribol, Dandavat, it's Radha Sundari. I forgot to write.
Jai,
my
Hare
name.
Krishna.
I will
Hare
come out
Krishna.
and come in again. Because
Perfect.
last time also that happened. Because
Yes.
someone stole my phone, and here I don't love Zoom, and I still have to figure out how to fix it for all the time.
We've
Perfect.
renamed you.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry about signing
Thank
out.
you.
Thank you so much.
And there's Radha Sundari reminding us again of Navadip, this connection, the touch of Navadip coming through Radha Sundari today too. And Ajita Krishna Prabhu has joined us and reminding us of Srila Gurudev by his, what they call thumbnail picture, the picture of Srila Gurudev, looking with a little bit of with a Gurudev mood. What can I say? He could be expressing different things by that mood, and only he, or I think she, who took this photo would be able to say precisely.
Dandavat Maharaj, good to see you.
Dandavat, good to see you, Prabhu. Or good to hear you and see you by hearing, and good to see Srila Gurudev's picture there, of course. I think it's a Jamuna Priya picture, and I think Gurudev is probably looking approvingly, knowing that she's taking the photos for this very purpose, that many people can see him, and by seeing him, that many people can be connected and understand Guru Maharaj. This is everything Gurudev is doing. Everything is for Guru Maharaj. All right, so quickly moving on, and means that Ramachandra's Rāma Navamī is today, so it is a fasting day for those of us who are already in today. So Ramachandra's fasting, but fasting until noon. And if you listen to the audios, I'm pretty sure that in one of these audios that are posted for today of Rāma Navamī, then Srila Gurudev is in a happy way, because a happy way saying about there are different ways of fasting for different auspicious days and appearance days. And we are of the section that fast until noon, not of the section that fast all the way through till the next day. And this is Rāma Navamī's tradition within our temple. So little fasting, but remembrance of Ramachandra. And the Ramayana is extensive, and yes, it is one of those very painful and very happy pastime books of the Lord, as takes place in Krishna Lila, in Rama Lila. Then this theme of union in separation, chastity, maintaining our Krishna consciousness, Ram consciousness, maintaining our dharma and duty in all respects, devotionally speaking. This is the Ramayana, and so many pastimes inside there. And Dibya Shakti also saying, is it a movie or a book called Love Kush or something? And she, whenever I read it or see it, then I cry. It's one of those things. But the sweetest songs are those that tell the saddest tales. But these aren't just tales. As we read an excerpt just before, the pastimes of the Lord are eternal. It's not that they happened in the past. Oh, it's something that happened and now it's finished. The pastimes of the Lord are eternal. And so these pastimes are taking place all the while. Reality as opposed to Walt Disney. Walt Disney versus reality. So let's stick to the reality part of the presentation of the Lord's energy, as opposed to the illusory part. All right, and now briefly, out of necessity, because of the time, but just briefly, please, dear devotees, okay, no, we will be in Gurudev's disappearance day when we speak, when it's in America. But for the rest of the non-North and South American devotees, we will be kind of slightly missed Gurudev's disappearance day because it'll have been yesterday. But we can say something then about Srila Gurudev, but something now also. The essential part that I'd like to say is to stress how fortunate we are at the present time to have such intact, strong guardianship of Gurudev, Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. I mean, really, we have to say this. And the full conception on why them, because they are those top agents giving us Krishna consciousness as given by Krishna himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this really is the basis of our life, that we can understand and have that firm faith and appreciation and connection with Guru and Gauranga. We are not yogis, and we're not this, we're not that, we're not learned scholars, we're not anything, we're not qualified, which I suppose comes to one kind of qualification for Kali Yuga, but we're not qualified for anything. But we can appreciate, and we are taught to appreciate by the example of Gurudev, Guru Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, Srila Saraswati Thakur, plus. But we are shown how to appreciate what we have, to understand that all in all, even in the course of space and time, for this whole day of Brahma, that all in all, the best opportunity is right now under the lotus feet of Srila Gurudev. Gurudev is Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and himself all in one. Really, this is so clear to those who are with his divine grace, those who just felt, as we just read in that excerpt just now, that Chintamani read, that if we can have the slightest touch, if the slightest touch of the real substance, then somehow or another, here's saying, somehow or another, from a pure devotee, a bit of real Krishna consciousness should enter through our ears into our hearts, then Krishna will supply whatever is required. One who has imbibed even a slight regard for Krishna consciousness is assured of success in spiritual life, today or tomorrow. And this regarding Krishna consciousness, it is not just Krishna is alone, or Krishna and his associates in the spiritual world, but Krishna and his associates who have come to this world, that our connection is through this very method, as Krishna is told in Bhagavad Gita. How to come to the truth is to approach someone who's connected with that truth, who has realized, who has understood. And then we come to go finer and finer, and then we find that descending from the upper world, Krishna and Radharani themselves came, and their associates, descending from the upper world in that associate section. Then we have in our immediate guidance in this world, just a moment ago and still with us, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev. And Srila Gurudev is kind of the practical link for us all to Guru Maharaj, to Srila Prabhupada, and to our whole Krishna consciousness. Why? Because Srila Prabhupada, he gave the introduction everywhere, and he gave in his books everything. You read what is there. And what is that everything? To come to the pure devotees, that the Vaishnavas are all in all. And where has Srila Prabhupada come to be the recipient of all of this inconceivable descending grace flowing through him to the world? He's come to the lotus feet of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur through Srila Guru Maharaj. And this way also, everything is coming like in a flow, in a current through the agents of the Lord. And who is Srila Govinda Maharaj? The dearmost son of Srila Prabhupada, and the dearmost everything of Srila Gurudev, of Srila Guru Maharaj rather, who he not only declared, but said that all my God brothers, everybody, they have this feeling that Srila Govinda Maharaj, he can carry this banner, he can continue this succession. And so with the blessings of Guru Maharaj, the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and all of the senior God brothers, then Srila Govinda Maharaj continuing and presenting to us, first of all, he gave us Guru Maharaj, who did not want to become like involved in giving initiation and guidance, guardianship to the world, because he's already 80 plus years old when we came to his lotus feet. And Guru Maharaj saying that if I give them initiation, who will look after them? I'm only going to be here a short while longer. My lifetime is ended like this. And Gurudev saying, Guru Maharaj, you initiate them, I will look after them, because where else will they go? They cannot build their faith in other departments after what has happened. This is time, place, and circumstances at that time. And then Govinda Maharaj saying they will go away. They will go away from Krishna consciousness if you don't give them shelter. They've got that faith in you. And Srila Govinda Maharaj, through Srila Govinda Maharaj, he has given us access, given us connection, given us everything of Guru Maharaj. And through Srila Govinda Maharaj, we understand who is Guru Maharaj. Whatever we can understand, of course, like we are reading anything, we are not just reading anything, but we are hearing, we're getting instruction, we're seeing relationship, etc. Whatever we can understand, whatever tiny part of that, it is coming by the grace of Srila Govinda Maharaj. That who is Guru Maharaj? Who is Srila Prabhupada? Who is Srila Saraswati Thakur? And he's made that very living and practical bridge to us, so that we can come and cross this bridge. We can come and have entrance and access into that upper world. And Gurudev, absolutely non-judgmental in all kinds of mundane matters. He wants everyone to be corrected and do the right thing along the lines of Ramachandra's perfect example. But it's not a stumbling block, not as like somebody is disqualified because of this, that. The only disqualification is aparad, which is not sin, but is aparad, Vaishnava aparad, and unchasteness, unchastity. What is the opposite of chaste? Unchaste, yes. Unchasteness to Guru. So let us really appreciate Srila Gurudev's presence, Srila Guru Maharaj's presence, of the presence of all who've come to help us on our path, and especially those who've given us our actual, like, substantial, practical guidance in pure Krishna consciousness for, you can say, 30 years. I mean, 1980, when the first Westerners, well, actually before that, for over 30 years to the Western devotees, Srila Gurudev giving guidance. And in our cases, 28 years. I came in 1982 to Guru Maharaj. And Gurudev consistently the well-wisher and guide throughout all of this time. And what can we say? How much more fortunate can we be? We can't go complaining. We don't have any guidance. We can only complain about ourselves. And how are we following the guidance? We've got everything from their side, from the upper world to us. And as Mahaprabhu says in the Shikshastakam about Krishna, this is Mahaprabhu as the ideal devotee, by the way, and he's giving this example. Oh, Krishna, you've done everything from your side. The fault is only with me, that I am so unfortunate that I've not been able to get a taste for chanting your holy name, for being a real devotee in this way. So this kind of mood we can have not only to Krishna, Krishna's mercy in the directly thinking of Krishna, but the mercy of his agents. And in agent doesn't just mean like any agent, but his associates who've come to distribute the Lord who's distributing himself. I mean, it is very, very special indeed. And this is really our mood, our prayer, our feeling this time, amongst many other ways of seeing Gurudev's presence in this world and his disappearance from the world. But really, we do want to give some special thought, attention, savor on this day, which is coming up of Gurudev's disappearance. And so, at least for a few minutes today, we stress a few points. And Gurudev cares, he cares for everybody. He cares for everybody, a caring guardian. So, excuse me, he disappeared, but he did not depart. As Gurudev so many times said about Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj disappeared. He did not leave us, he did not depart. And there again, Gurudev has given us the example of service in separation. Hare Krishna, Ramachandra's appearance day, Gurudev's disappearance day coming up. But everywhere in Krishna's pastimes, in Ramachandra's pastimes, there is that separation which increases the intensity of the connection with the Lord. Everything has its positive side, and never feeling oneself a victim. Even Ramachandra, to come to Ramachandra's Leela, the next day he's meant to be coronated, made king, and the whole of Ayodhya is joyful and they're going to have Ramachandra as the king, he's going to be coronated. But then, due to circumstance, then his father Dashrath comes to him and says, dear son, it's not my wish, but it has to be that instead of being coronated tomorrow, you need to be, you are being banished to the forest. Nothing I can do about it. This is the arrangement of providence. And so, my son, tomorrow, instead of being coronated, you are to go to the forest. And Ramachandra, without any hesitation, without any regret, why thought like this, he says, yes, father. Yes, it is your wish. You are expressing this to me. Then maybe not your wish, but your order. It was in order to keep a promise to his wife. So this way, Ramachandra, doing his duty, doing everything, but everything, some separation. The whole of the population of Ayodhya became then in separation from Ramachandra. But Ramachandra himself detached. Yes, I'm in the king. I'll be a king tomorrow. Yes. Oh, I'll be banished to the forest tomorrow. Yes. Same in the sense of following his duty. But separation is everywhere. And then later, Sita is kidnapped. We know we don't have time to talk the whole matter, but Sita is kidnapped later on by Ravana. And yes, not the spiritual Sita, but for Leela, Sita is captured, kidnapped. And so again, separation, so many separation pastimes taking place, especially in the personality, the personal manifestation, the personal Lord. The Lord is personal. And there we get separation. Ramachandra's Leela, Krishna's Leela, Mahaprabhu's Leela. In particular, we can give our attention there. And Ramachandra's pastimes are in Srimad Bhagavatam too. And we get the substance of his pastimes, means the substance in our making faith firm in Krishna being the supreme personality of Godhead. Then that substance of Ramachandra's pastimes are given in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is only there to emphasize the topmost position of Radha and Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan as the topmost position. So our Rama Leela, if we read from Srimad Bhagavatam, then we will get the Ramayana condensed version in one chapter. I think it is one chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Not one chapter maybe, but it's one canto. Anyway, I'd have to do a little homework to say how many chapters is of Rama Leela. Hare Krishna. And there we have Hanuman with service mood and with affection. And by the way, Gurudev serving with affection and more, this service to Srila Guru Maharaj, his service to Guru Maharaj by taking care of the devotees. Hare Krishna, many, many aspects. Oh my goodness, I spoke again too much. But Jivana, you didn't turn up. I don't know if you're watching the recording, but Jivana, your homework, which I know you've done, is still pending. And what was the homework? Now I need to remind myself. I know she was looking up a Leela. Oh, about the Lord extending his hand down. So anyway, oh, well, we can fill in a little blank. The Lord has extended his hand down to us through wonderful Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj. Ki Jai. And wonderful Srila Bhakti Rakok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. Ki Jai. Wonderful Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Wonderful Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. And all of the Rupanuga Guru Varga, all of those who are coming to help us to understand anything in this Krishna consciousness, we bow our head there, and it's their property, not our property. We always must remember that everything is theirs. We want you to read, hear, and understand, capture, be connected there to hear directly the descending, the hand coming down from above, the news coming down from above, the broadcast from Goloka Vrindavan, the broadcast from Navadip of Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. We want to be connected there, and we want you to be there too. What's this? Varun put here, for nostalgic purposes, the first BBBB, the back to basics. Okay. Thank you, Varun.
Thank you so much.
I'm copying and pasting because I am nostalgic sometimes. Okay, I've copied and pasted it so that I'll take a look when we close the Zoom. And remember, anything in the Zoom chats, please do copy and paste, because they disappear unless anything new happened. No, I don't think so. When Zoom closes, everything in the chat disappears. So if you want anything, I just copy and paste just in case, because I saw the links are there, but I didn't give proper attention to what they are. All right.
And Maharaj, we have Ekadashi here with us.
Okay.
And she
I
was...
don't see her, but I'm sure she is. Ekadashi.
And she was the
Oh,
storyteller today in Bhakti Yoga for Kids.
She was
And
what, sorry?
she was the storyteller in Bhakti Yoga for Kids today, and it was wonderful, Maharaj. Beautiful preacher, beautiful.
Okay, then I can say one thing, that all of those Bhakti Yoga for Kids, they're wonderful. And I've listened, maybe not everyone, but to a lot of them I've listened to. And so amongst the wonderful, if this is wonderful, then it must be wonderful, wonderful, at least. So you've given us an appetite to listen to that. I expect it's posted now, or soon will be posted, the recording, and we'll happily hear it soon, Ekadashi. Well done. And Paramananda Prabhu, please excuse, I didn't give you a moment, and also to all of the devotees here, everybody has got some opportunity, should have had some opportunity to speak, but somehow or another, our day went very fast. But we did hear from Australia, we did hear from California, and we did hear from Salt Lake City in Utah, from the devotees, a little something. And as Sevarupa, everybody, South Africa, you've all been very quiet. Udaram Prabhu, our Brazilian devotees, Prafula Krishna Prabhu, our dear Prafula Krishna with us too. And we heard a little bit from Ajita Krishna, his obeisances, and happy to hear your voice, Prabhu. And Varun giving us also our nostalgia today in back to basics. And to each of you, my obeisances online, means on the Zoom, on the Facebook, and who will be with us later in the recorded version. We appreciate the presence of you all. And Kelly and Abhinavasunda, we must invite you for their Italian Wednesday program, not this week because it's going to be Gurudev's disappearance day on Wednesday, but see if we can invite you, and if you will accept the invitation, to share some goodies with the Italian family the Wednesday after. I will let you know, and think about it. I'm putting the seed in your heart. Hare Krishna. I'm sorry, I took all the time. But Jai Śrī Rāma Navamī ki Jai. And Jai Śrī Gurudev ki Jai. We're not going to think too much about his disappearance just yet. We'll just say Jai Śrī Gurudev ki Jai. And Jai Śrī Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Śrīla Saraswati Thakur ki Jai, Śrī Rupanuga Guru Vaga ki Jai. All the assembled devotees ki Jai. Present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. And to each of you, my humble obeisances and appreciation. Special thoughts for these special days. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namaha.
Jai Srila Bhaktiranjan Madhusudan Maharaj ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. Ami Ashchi. I can leave you all together, but I'm going to continue my day, my morning. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Maharaj, thank you so much. Dandavat from Indupati Das in Philippines also.
Oh, okay. Prabhu, very happy to know that you're there, and Dandavat to you and all the Philippine Bhakta Vrinda, to Rupa Vilas Prabhu and the other good souls there, devoted souls there. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.